Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone and thanks for joining us. First tonight, a Huon Valley home has been completely destroyed after a blaze tore through the property this afternoon. Smoke could be seen hundreds of metres away, with investigators yet to determine a cause. Our reporter John Hunt has more.
This Franklin property resembles a twisted wreck after fire engulfed it earlier this afternoon. Crews from Franklin and Huonville rushed to the Rankins Road address just after the fire was reported around 1:30, located about half an hour south of Hobart. The truck swarmed to the scene as they attempted to contain and extinguish the blaze at the house. Smoke could be seen from hundreds of metres away as crews battled while the flames continued to burn. Others could only watch on as the property was engulfed. Tas Network crews were also on hand to work with local power infrastructure in the surrounding area. An estimated damage bill has yet to be determined. Investigations into how the fire started are expected to continue into the night.
Well, meanwhile, arsonists have set alight a unit in South Launceston, badly damaging the interior of the property. No one was home at the Whedon Avenue address at the time, and firefighters managed to stop the blaze from spreading to neighbouring units. Investigators have determined the fire was deliberately lit and are appealing to the public for information. Police say a group of alleged thieves attacked a Claremont man yesterday on the street in a Gumtree transaction gone wrong. One man remains in custody, while an ongoing investigation has revealed 3 others are known to police. Our reporter Ruby Kamain has more from the scene.
Near this quiet intersection here on Canberra Road, police say a simple Gumtree purchase turned into a terrifying ordeal. Yesterday afternoon, police say a man was waiting with his orange and black KTM 85 trail bike to meet 4 males.
The group had arranged to meet the male as the bike had been for sale on Gumtree, and upon meeting him in Canberra Road, they've assaulted him and stolen that trail bike.
It's alleged the 41-year-old received several punches to the head, but thankfully didn't require hospital treatment.
At this stage, he's fine. He's received non-significant injuries as a result of this incident.
Police allege a 29-year-old man took off with the trail bike in a northerly direction, which has since been recovered. He was taken into custody this afternoon. Police say another male stole the victim's mobile phone, then drove off with the remaining 2 in a white car heading south, now reminding the public to be careful when selling online.
It's a good time to remind people just to take their own personal safety into account. Obviously, this is an isolated incident. And we're following a specific line of inquiry in relation to it.
An investigation into the incident is ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers.
A 6th outlaw motorcycle gang has joined the list of organisations banned from wearing insignia in Tasmania. Police have added the Nomads to legislation, saying it's recently worked to establish a presence in the state. It joins groups such as the Outlaws, Devil's Henchmen and Rebels in being banned from wearing their colours in public.
The wearing of insignia by outlaw motorcycle gangs very much identifies them and intimidates the community, and it's a means of recruiting those vulnerable members of our community.
Police say there have been no national runs by outlawed gangs in Tasmania since the insignia laws passed in November. A man has been rushed to the Royal Hobart Hospital with serious injuries following a crash between a van and a truck near Hobart. Some sections of the busy Brooker Highway were almost brought to a standstill as police investigations spanned several hours.
Emergency services investigating a horror scene on the busy Brooker Highway. This the aftermath after a van and truck collided. Police say just before the incident, the vehicles were driving side by side in northbound lanes around 9:40 a.m.
It then appears that the driver of the VW van lost control of the vehicle, causing it to veer into the side of the Volvo Prime Mover.
The van then crashed into traffic lights in the centre of the Bowen Road intersection. Emergency crews racing to the scene.
Tasmania Police took control of the crash scene shortly thereafter and administered first aid to the driver of the VW van prior to Ambulance Tasmania assuming control of his care.
The van driver was rushed to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a serious condition, while the driver of the truck was not injured. Tasmania Police is still investigating what caused the incident.
The driver of the van remains in hospital receiving treatment, and attending police wish to thank the members of the public present at the scene for their invaluable assistance.
This stretch of the highway was closed for around 4 hours while investigations continued. Tas Network's also on site to ensure the scene was safe. Anyone who witnessed the incident is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The University of Tasmania is warning it could take years for international student numbers to recover from the fallout of COVID-19. As Tasmania passes day 5 without a new virus case, businesses are preparing to open their doors when restrictions are eased.
The beers are nearly back on Brooker Island.
We're proudly going to sling doors open again on Monday and hope to have at least 10 people through that night for dinner at the Hotel Broonie.
Hospitality has spent months on life support. Now the industry is being thrown another lifeline: free graduate certificates in business studies and tourism.
The initiative between the TICT and UTAS is going to enable staff to upskill and to take on a free course to get a university qualification.
I think it's a great opportunity, especially given all the free time I have on my hands now. So yes, very excited to start.
As for international students, the University of Tasmania says it could take years to recover.
This will be a big impact on the university, not to have any international students next semester, and even into next year, depending on how things go. We would expect to see a lot fewer, really over the next few years.
Student dropouts this semester have been minimal thanks to the quick shift online.
Our challenge is next semester.
The university is yet to outline the financial hit it's taken from the virus. Meanwhile, the North West Regional Hospital will fully reopen tomorrow after last month's outbreak. Another small step in the very long road to recovery. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A decades-long fight to award Tasmanian war hero Teddy Sheehan with the Victoria Cross has hit its biggest setback yet. The Prime Minister has vetoed an independent tribunal which unanimously determined Mr Sheehan meets the criteria for Australia's highest honour.
Teddy Sheehan, a sailor whose gallantry in the face of enemy fire has become legend, but not recognised with the Victoria Cross yet.
I'm gutted, and I'm sure the family will be when they get the news too.
Mr Sheehan's nephew, Gary Ivory, has campaigned for the posthumous prize for 30 years. He says today has been the biggest blow yet, after the federal government went against an independent tribunal's recommendation to recognise the Tasmanian, citing a lack of compelling new evidence in Mr Sheehan's favour.
It is a very difficult decision, but I believe in the circumstances, the right decision.
Disappointment galore, and I will be asking the Prime Minister to reconsider this decision.
Criticism galore too, from Jackie Lambie describing the decision as cowardice to the Liberal Party's own ranks.
It's bitterly disappointing.
Only 4 people have been awarded the Victoria Cross for Australia since it superseded the British Victoria Cross as the nation's highest honour in 1991. Sheehan's successors are vowing to fight to the end. After all, it runs in the family.
There's still hope. We won't give up. The motto for the HMAS Sheehan is fight on, and that's exactly what we will do.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government has unveiled an ambitious plan to double Tasmania's renewable energy output. It's hoped wind, solar and pumped hydro will help meet a 200% target by 2040.
Because it'll put downward pressure on electricity prices, improve energy security and deliver not just hundreds but thousands of jobs and billions of investment in the decades ahead.
This is arguably the most important plan we have in Tasmania. Our renewable energy sector is a huge market advantage for Tasmania and for Tasmanian businesses.
The draft action plan will go before Parliament later in the year. More than 400 meals have been delivered to Tasmanians doing it tough under a new Pay It Forward program. Hobart City Mission has partnered up with catering business For Lunch, encouraging its customers to buy a tub of food. The meals are then matched to those facing hardship, especially during the pandemic.
We have an opportunity to drop off meals to a lot of really good people that times are tough, and we know that. Everyone's struggling right now, some more than others.
When you're doing it really tough, there's nothing that is more important than knowing that other people out there actually care that you're doing it tough. So it's not just a meal you're giving someone.
The program has also helped the business to keep employing staff after losing 90% of its bookings in the first week of the coronavirus restrictions. A Tasmanian horse trainer has blasted the decision to shut down the racing industry amid the pandemic. Scott Brunton has been forced to send his top horses to race interstate, but it is actually paying dividends.
On the sand of 7 Mile Beach, horses thunder through their paces, even if the backdrop isn't a racetrack.
It's a natural surface, and so there's no base to it, so a lot of the horses can avoid any injuries.
Training always on the mind of Scott Brunton, even in the middle of an interview.
One moment. Just an easy 400, mate, but on the strip, eh? Yeah, sorry about that. You've got a horse heading out to do a little bit of work.
But as a result of Tasmania's racing shutdown, he's been forced to send his top prospects to the mainland. A masterstroke now paying good odds.
Shot of Irish needs the line. Jock looks at the big screen. No need to. He's won it.
Shot of Irish storming home to win at Caulfield, its second major victory in as many weeks, while newcomer Galinas blew away the field at Cranbourne last Friday night.
But Galinas is all too good for them. Pretty good win this. Won it by over 2 lengths.
The 3-year-old's commanding record attracting international interest from cashed-up Hong Kong investors.
We're resisting that at this stage and going to race on.
The gelding, along with prized horse The Inevitable, will return to Tasmanian soil when racing returns next month. In another win for the local industry, the government has today bowed to pressure, allowing trials at the track to recommence from next Monday.
You can't just switch them on and off. It's got to be done correctly because they have to sustain a full racing preparation.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
You might be wondering, how does a contact sport continue when you can't be in contact? A Tasmanian Judo instructor has found the answer in the latest pursuit to adapt to online.
Terry Ott knows his judo well. But a hands-on sport in close contact simply won't fly in these strange times.
You can't do it by yourself. You need a partner.
That's why this judo school in Sidmouth is bowing down to social distancing by conducting classes live over the internet to be copied at home.
It's a new adventure actually, both from a coaching point of view and also from a teaching point of view.
And some families really have been pulled in.
We've had mum and dad doing exercises.
The martial art has evolved into an Olympic sport and captured a loyal base in Tasmania. Instructor Terry Ott has spent a lifetime honing this Japanese craft. He misses the real thing.
You miss the activity relationship with the students.
Hopefully soon all sport can lift itself off the canvas. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's peak motoring body has urged the state government to investigate local fuel prices, saying the Premier has no choice but to make changes. The renewed call comes after the consumer watchdog, the ACCC, said it's up to government to make laws around real-time fuel price reporting.
What that means is they don't need to drive around looking for a cheaper price and therefore actually reducing the savings that they would make. It also increases competition within the market.
Petrol pricing is something that concerns Tasmanians, and we have had ACCC inquiries in the past, but still our prices seem to be out of step with the mainland, and so that's a matter that we are actively considering.
The RACT says since March this year, Tasmanian motorists have been overcharged nearly $13 million at the Bowser. There's some good news for those staying home for work or school, with internet coverage expanded further in Tasmania. 44 suburbs in Hobart and Launceston are now 50% or more covered by 5G, including Glenorchy, Lindisfarne, Newstead and Punchbowl. Telstra says it's continuing with the rollout, with more suburbs still to be upgraded.
Good evening. Mostly sunny today, apart from the west and south where a few showers fell. Hobart 13 degrees, Launceston 15, Burnie and Devonport 14. Temperatures sat between 2 and 6 below average. St Helens 15 degrees, Smithton and the Islands 14, Lowhead, Friendly Beaches and Strawn 13, Ouse 12, Grove 10 and Lyowini a top of just 4. Now, as mentioned, the west and south found most of the clouds and patchy cloud over remaining parts. Best rainfall today, 6 millimetres at Warra. Victoria and southern New South Wales and Australia also have cloudy conditions, low-level cloud over the east of the country. And tomorrow a high centred near Adelaide will track over Victoria. Troughs remain over central Queensland and WA. Winds will tend more west-northwesterly tomorrow at 10 to 20 knots, but up to 15 to 25 knots over southern waters with a 2 to 4 metre swell. Strong wind warning is on. That's for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point. Hobart tomorrow, a partly cloudy 16. 15 on the way for Cygnet, a possible shower, partly cloudy for New Norfolk and 15 degrees. Launceston 15 as well, partly cloudy, similar conditions for Devonport and 12 the top for Campbelltown after a pretty cool start. 15 the high for Burnie, bit of cloud about, showers for Strawn, 13 degrees, a possible shower for Smithton, expecting 15 tomorrow. 16 the high for St Helens, a mostly sunny, bit of cloud over Swansea but fine and 15. Fingal, a frost to start the day and 15 later on. Friday, showers over the west and far south, fine for the rest of the state. Fine in the south and east on Saturday. Hobart a sunny 18, but showers over the west, central and north. And on Sunday, mainly fine again over the southeast with a few showers elsewhere. Sunny weather for Perth and Darwin tomorrow. Partly cloudy conditions for Adelaide, Melbourne and Canberra, and a few showers for Sydney and Brisbane. Partly cloudy conditions right around the state, 8 degrees in Hobart, 8 degrees in Launceston and 8 degrees right now in Devonport. And that is the all-important weather forecast. Kim, I'm very glad that you're on board with the importance of the weather. However, I will have a less important forecast later on tonight.
You are always important, Merv, always. Before we leave you tonight, we're often warned about hanging with the wrong crowd, but that didn't seem to faze one unexpected Tasmanian visitor. This deer was captured alongside a flock of sheep in a shearing shed in the Northern Midlands. Property managers tried to usher the animal out, but say it re-entered the yard several times. It left a few hours later, deciding the environment was bad. That was terrible. That is your news for now. Hope you can join us again tomorrow night. Good night.